Up, everybody? We got another live. Today we're talking about how to sell your home. So give me just a minute here. Let's see if anyone will join us today. And we're just going to get stuff ready. If you have any questions for me, by all means, put them in the comments on uh, whatever website or page you're seeing this on. More than happy to answer any questions, and I think it'll make the class go a lot better. So while we kind of wait for people to join here, let's give everyone a solid minute or three, and then we'll just get started. While we get this ready to go, I'm going to be getting a bunch of pictures, a bunch of things prepped, and like I said, just let me know if you have any questions while we're getting warmed up. It always seems like when we do these streams, people tend to join 5 or 10 minutes after we start. So if we start it right away, we have a habit of missing um, people, basically. And we're going to hang out in this live stream as long as it takes to get through everything and everyone's questions. Um, Usually the lives are about 30 minutes long, usually. And we usually do these, if you're catching this later, every Sunday at 6 o'clock with all of your real estate questions, even if it's not related to what we're talking about. So let's see here. Okay. Let's just get started. So, today, everyone, we are talking about selling your home. The steps of it, everything you have to do, and what the whole process is like, what your expectations should be, all that kind of fun stuff. Let's just get this aimed down a little bit so you can kind of see my hands and see a little bit more. So, here's the thing with selling a home it takes a minute. Now, there's two main ways to sell your home. It's going to either be listed or to a cash buyer. Cash buyers will never pay you the same amount as a regular buyer will, but they close very quickly. Typically, if you're doing a cash deal, they're going to offer you somewhere between 70 and 90% of the home value that they think that you will get. So if you're in a real rush, dire straits, don't want to deal with all the work, cash buyers can be a cool way to go. But keep in mind they got to make their money, right? They're going to have to pay everybody and then fix up the home or whatever they're doing, get it back on the market, and then they want to get paid. So typically, when you go with a cash buyer, you're not going to make as much. We're not going to talk about that process really anymore for this course. But if you want to see more about what it's like to work with express offers, iBuyers in general, reach out, look at my YouTube. There's all kinds of videos and content on it. So in this case, we're going to be looking at just listing your home and that process because it's a lot more complicated. Before you can start working on this, you've got to keep in mind it takes time, okay? We need to have a consultation with you, get all the marketing ready, get your home showing ready, do whatever staging and moving and prepping and whatever else we have to do done. We need to get all of our marketing and photos and 3D and showing procedures and the list goes on. Then we get it on the market. Once it's on the market, we're going to have to do all kinds of stuff, right? So in general, right now, in general, you're going to need about 30 days for escrow. It just kind of is what it is. It's going to be 30 days from offer accepted to closed. And then in this market right now, from listing going live to offer accepted, the median is 29 days. So if you have a normal 30-day escrow and a median 30 days on the market before you get an offer accepted, you're going to be on the market for 60 days. Keep in mind, on top of that, we've got to do all the marketing, everything else, right? So realistically, for most homes, the median home, right, the average home, we're looking at somewhere around 60 to 90 days for the most part to sell your home. Some homes are above average, some homes are below average. Maybe you'll get an offer on day 0 and you'll get a super fast 2-week closing. It can happen. But to set realistic expectations, I would expect your home to take in the neighborhood of 60 to 90 days to go from, yes, I want to sell it, having that consultation, to cash in your hand, the whole deal's done. There's also other hiccups like what happens if a buyer doesn't take it. and all kinds of other things that could happen that could make it longer or shorter again. So to walk you through that process, again, the first thing is you need to get a hold of us early. If you want to be closed, basically we're in April now, right? May, June, July. If you want to be closed by July, end of summer, now is the time to start. We're starting to look at fall almost if you're starting to talk to your realtor now. So again, we want to jump on this early, not like what most people do. Most of my clients, which it still works out, I'm not mad at them or anything, right? I'm happy to work with them. But most people, when they reach out to me, they say something along the lines of like, hey, I'm ready to put the house on the market today, right now. And it's like, now we have to rush everything. And sometimes stuff gets missed or we have to cut corners and weird things can happen. So give us notice. Give us as much notice as you can to make sure the process goes smooth. So step one is we need to get your home ready. We're talking about fixing stuff and making it pretty. So we call this step staging. And I know that a lot of people, when they think of staging, they think of like bringing out all your furniture, bringing in new furniture. Staging can be a lot of different things. It depends on the listing. It depends on the home. If you have a 10,000 square foot mansion, a lot of the time we need to make sure that all of the rooms are kind of decorated and organized in such a way that people walking in can understand what the room is for. If the space is really, really big, we want to make sure that it's very well furnished to kind of give people an idea, get their gears turning, and help them kind of envision what the whole space is like. But for most people, they don't have a house that big, right? Most people have a 3-2, give or take, 2,000 square feet, give or take, right? For those, having all of the furniture, everything out is less important. You do still want to keep it clean, make it look nice though. So for small houses, you can, if you want, go with no furniture at all. It doesn't seem to really impact the sales value of the home. But if the home is big, then typically we do want to start furnishing. So when we're talking staging, we're not just talking about furniture though, right? We're talking about cleaning, organizing, making sure the house smells good, looks good, doing any repairs that we have to do. One of the top things that I get asked is, what should I spend my money on? What should we repair? What should we fix? What should we work on before we take this listing live? The number one thing is always going to be carpet and paint. That's going to be the best bang for the buck across the board because everyone wants to show up at your showing and see it as a model home, like they're buying a brand new house, not like they're buying a used house. They want to feel like they're buying a brand new house that is theirs, that they aren't that doesn't have extra stuff going on, right? They don't want to see pictures of your family. They don't want to see your dogs running around the backyard. They don't want to smell all of your normal daily smells from cooking and animals and everything else, your garbage. They want to walk in and feel like it's a model home. So imagine going to, for me, the easiest way for me to envision it is to think about going into a brand new trailer, manufactured home, something like that, RV. When you walk in, it's all clean, it's all neat, it's all put away. You can tell where everything is. Everything looks unused. That's the feeling we're going for. We want people to feel warm and like it's their home, envision themselves living there, not you living there. So when it comes to what we're going to fix up, what we're going to organize, again, carpet, paint, anything that's old, right? If you have stuff that isn't super, super nice in terms of the kitchen and the bathrooms, those are some big rooms that you can spend a little bit of money in and get a huge return. You're not going to be looking at repairs, okay? Now, if the repairs are attached to something cosmetic, that's different. If the roof has a leak, maybe leave it until the inspection, okay? But if the roof is leaking and it's coming out the ceiling and people are going to see that, then we should nip it in the bud and do it now. Most buyers, when they're offering on a home, are going to offer based on what they're seeing and feeling, not really on the condition of the home, okay? They're going to notice that at the inspection. So most of the time, if you do those mechanical repairs, like say you're fixing an HVAC, or say you are fixing a roof when it's not raining, it's not going to bring the offers up. It's going to basically have a different impact on inspections. But when we do inspections, we'll cover that kind of later. But bottom line is most mechanical repairs that are not cosmetic are not going to net you more on your sale. What's going to net you more on your sale is the appearance of your home, and just generally how beautiful it looks and how good it feels to walk through. Okay. So once we have the home beautiful, we're going to need to market it. So we're talking 3D, photos, floor plan, open houses, everything we can do. Now, every single listing is different. Okay. So when we are talking about doing all these things, we are not necessarily going to do all of these things on every single home. For example, there are a couple of gated communities here in Newbury Park, and when we do open houses, it's a pain in the butt. It's not really worth it. We've got to deal with the gate code. We've got to deal with the HOA. It's just not appropriate, right? So every single home is going to need a custom marketing plan for that home, for target demographic we're looking for what is appropriate for this home. Do you have pets and other things that need to move, right? So this is all going to vary, but in general, you can't go wrong with pictures. Okay, pictures, 3D, and floor plan are the three most valued things by home buyers. So when we're talking pictures, we want to get it professionally done. It's really important. So let's take a look at this real quick. Where did I put my button here? Picture in picture, and we share screen. And we look at this. All right. So when we're talking pictures, this is what we're talking about, right? These are, of course, extreme examples of pictures that went very poorly. Sorry about the ads. But when people are looking at the pictures, you generally have three pictures to impress people. The first picture you put up is going to be the main one that makes them continue looking. Your next two pictures, your next three pictures, need to be the best two or three pictures of your home. If the first picture doesn't look good, they're not going to look at the next two or three. If the next two or three don't look good, they're not going to look at the rest of the pictures. Okay. So it's really important that we look at the first three pictures being really, really good and a good showing of the home. So things we're looking for: proper angles on our cameras, clean up all the clutter and junk, make sure that the lighting is good. This is an example of really bad lighting. You want to make sure that this is making fun because you can't tell what the words are, but you want to make sure that anything that's super personal is put away, because again, we want to make it look like a model home. Don't let people do pictures with their cell phone. Okay, get a professional photographer out there. It's really cheap, it's really impactful. And when we're talking about 3D, why is 3D important? Well, I've met a lot of real estate agents that will say that if we show too much of the home, then it'll be a bad show. Maybe something in the house doesn't look good, or maybe something else is funny. People are going to walk through the home. Okay. If we do 3D, let's see, how do we turn this off again? If we do 3D, then we're going to be able to reduce showings, which means that you have got to get your stuff out of the house less often. It also means that people that maybe don't think they're going to be able to make it to the home will look through the home for the 3D showings. It also means that people that are looking are a lot more serious than people that are looking without any photos or other documentation. I know some realtors in this market that won't even take pictures of homes. They will just slap it up because they're trying to get people into the house to show off to their client how cool they are and how many showings they had. It's not about showings, it's about offers, right? So the more of an idea that you can give people about the home, even if it is a tenant occupied or a flip or whatever, and sometimes especially when it's tenant occupied or a flip, we want to have as much documentation, as much marketing as possible. The better pictures, the better idea people have, the better offers you're going to get. Sorry, this might make some sound. Try to fix my mic here. So when we're marketing, we want to do at least photos, 3D, floor plan every single time if possible. Sometimes it's not good for security reasons or for other things like that, but 99% of the time, pictures, 3D, floor model, every time, you can't go wrong. Video also can't go wrong. People love video way more than they love pictures. It's super helpful. Also, when we're marketing, when we're talking open houses, keep in mind that there's two philosophies here. For open houses, some people say that it is more for the realtor than it is for the clients. And in some cases, I'll agree, because the realtor is collecting leads while they're there at the open house and they're trying to get more business. But there's a large demographic, especially here in Ventura County, that don't like realtors and will only look at homes at open houses and will only make offers with listing agents. So by having open houses, you do open up your home to a pool of people that a lot of the time will not come to your house unless you're doing an open house. So it is a very good thing to do and it's very helpful for selling your home. You should do it every single weekend until it sells if you can help it. On that same token, let's talk about pets. If you have pets, you need to pretend you don't have pets. Okay. Pet odors are very offensive. I myself, I'm allergic to cats. If I go into a house and it's got cats, again, I'll do showings. That's never a problem, right? But as a buyer, I feel uncomfortable because now I'm dealing with the odor. I'm getting itchy eyes. Just generally not having a good time there. You want people to feel as comfortable and home as possible. So if there's any way, you need to sit down before you list the home and figure out your showing procedure. You want to get the pets into some corner of the house where they're not going to get their pet smells all over everything. You want to have some way to put them away so they're not out and about while people are doing showings. And ideally, if you can, you just want to get them out of the house altogether over to a family member's home or something else while you're doing showings, especially if you're doing showings like only on weekends or something like that. Get the pets out. The nightmare situation here, which I've seen more than once, is you open the front door to show someone a house and the cat, dog, whatever else runs out the door. Okay? You're going to have strangers in your home with your pets and they don't know your home and your process and everything that's going on. Now, your real estate agent should help and make sure that never happens, but not all real estate agents do, and sometimes accidents happen. So I really would prefer if there were no pets in the home at all at times of showings. But if they have to, the second best situation is put them in a crate or something similar in the backyard. Excuse me. Backyard or garage, or just generally lock them in a room and maybe make sure that no one opens that room. Put a note on the door. People are still going to want to look into the room, so that's probably the least positive thing you could do, but it's still an option. Okay. So in general, the big thing we want to do here is make it seem like you don't have pets, because pets will reduce the number of people that are interested in your home. And we don't want that. We want as many people interested in your home as humanly possible. Next thing, same token on showings, right? We're going to have a lot of showings. Showings, to me, are either in person or online. I think that someone looking through your property on a property tour video or through 3D is just as powerful as seeing in person. I have had more than once where someone has offered a home sight unseen because they saw the home in a 3D tour or at a video, right? Because they live far away. There's no chance they're going to drive all the way out to wherever the house was to see it, but they know they want it. Let's write an offer. So we're talking about showings. We want to make all of the experiences, whether it's virtual or in reality, right, as positive as we can. We want to give people as much privacy as they can to enjoy the home, and as much privacy as we can to let them critique and generally make themselves at home. So the more at home someone can feel, the better. If you, as the seller, are there at the time of showing, you're not making them feel at home. Okay. If your realtor is there pestering them the whole time during the showing, they don't feel at home. They're feeling pressured, they're feeling uncomfortable, but not at home. So I had a client once, for a step back for story time. I had a client once back when I was in Washington. Super memorable experience, this one. They looked at so many homes, I can't even count. Okay. I mean, we must have looked at least 50 plus homes over several months. And this one day, I am showing them a ton of homes. I think we had another like 8 on our tour. And on like the 5th one, we stop, and the husband runs into the bathroom. And this home was 1 story. It was hardwood floors throughout. It was enormous. It was like 4,000 square feet. And he runs into the bathroom, and he's got to go number 2. Okay. And so the sound could be heard across the entire home from end to end. It was incredible. And at the time I was mortified, absolutely mortified. And afterwards, after we're done with all the showings, everything was said and done, they decided to offer on that home. I asked why, and they said, we don't know. We just felt so at home there. It was just, we felt so comfortable that we just think that's the one. So, on one hand, I know a lot of people out there really want the public going through their home as little as possible, using it as little as possible, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, if you leave people alone, you let them be comfortable, you let them stop, sit down, relax, enjoy the property, odds are they're going to fall in love with it. Okay. So you need to make sure that you're giving people a positive showing experience, no matter what that means. So, in general, we want to make showings easy because a lot of buyers are going to be like, I see it, let's go right now. We want to make it as accommodating as we can for them to get into the home. We want to give them as much privacy as we can. We want to make the experience as enjoyable as we can. We want to make sure that there's no weird odors, like I said, that nothing weird is going on, that no one's home, if there's any way possible. Now, if that is not possible, I get it. Sometimes we have to do some stuff, but in general, it's what we want to do. A lot of people ask me about cameras because they want to make sure that stuff in the home doesn't get stolen or things like that. Your home is for sale. Everything inside the home is going to be gone through. That's the assumption you need to make. If you don't want people going through your stuff, get the stuff into storage. Okay. You should definitely have a camera on the front of the home, like a Ring camera or something like that. But I don't think it's really appropriate to have that stuff inside the home. Anything that's inside the home at time of showing, I think you need to be okay with someone going through, touching, possibly stealing, worst case, even though it's very rare. Okay. So, as a whole, again, make the home a model home, put it up for sale. And anything inside the home is also for sale. People might ask for furniture or for your fridge, your oven, right? If you don't want to sell it with the home, get it out before you do showings. Once you do showings, it's fair game and people are going to ask for it, even if you don't want to sell it, which can make the whole deal really, really difficult, especially if you have like art, chandeliers, things like that people could see as real estate. Get it out. Okay. Now, as you're doing these showings, we want to be really, really careful about our data. Okay. What we don't want to do is show homes, put your house in the market, and then go, it's not selling. That's not what we do here. Okay. We want to have data so that we can figure out if we're the right price, if something's wrong, and make sure you get top dollar. Okay. So the top ways we're going to get data is going to be out of looking at all of our online platforms and from looking at our 3D. Okay. So we're going to take a quick look at, now this is not my best picture here. It's going to be a little small for you. But as we're looking at this, we have how many showings or how many people viewed on Zillow, how many people viewed on Redfin, how many people looked at our Facebook ads, Google ads, notes for all of that. What's our total number of people that saw your property? Then we kind of have favorites. How many people are saving it on Zillow, Redfin? How many people are clicking, right? How many 3D tours did we have? How many showings did we have? How many people came to the open house? What was our feedback for all of that? So as we're going through and showing our homes, we need to be bothering our potential buyers. What did you think of the home? Do you have any feedback? What did you think of the price? Was there anything you noticed? Any weird smells? Any weird sounds? Anything we could fix for the next one? Statistically, we know that after a certain number of showings, you should have an offer. Or, in my case, because I do 3D, after a certain number of 3D showings, we should have an offer. We know that after a certain number of days, we should have at least a certain number of views online. So if we are taking good data and looking at this listing critically with all of the resources that we have, your realtor should be able to tell you not only how is your listing doing and what to expect, but what feedback we're getting. You should not, under any circumstances, have your home listed for a month and have your realtor go, I don't know, we're just going to keep it on the market, right? That's not appropriate. We're going to get as much data as we can during these showings to make sure that you know exactly what to expect and to make sure you have no surprises in this process. Keep in mind also that the locks on that we use, our super locks, do keep track of what realtors are coming into your home. So I know that there is also a certain aspect of privacy, or if it's vacant, how do we know how many people we're doing showings? It's all in that lockbox. That lockbox tells us a lot, and it also asks the showing agent for feedback after every showing. So we should be able to give you a lot of feedback and input and keep track of everyone that goes into and out of your house, what times they were in, what times they were out, even without your Ring camera, okay? Now, when we're getting offers, we want to keep in mind that we want strong offers, but if a strong offer doesn't come in, a weak offer is better than no offer, right? So no matter what happens when you get an offer on your desk, you want to review it and at least counter it. You never want to take an offer and throw it in the trash. Now, sometimes the buyers and the sellers are going to be at different prices, different levels, at which point maybe we can't make a deal, but we want offers because once we have an offer, we can tell every other showing that comes in, hey, we've got an offer on the table. You've got 2 days to give us an offer. It starts pressuring stuff. And what you'll notice is that maybe in some cases we could go a whole month without getting an offer. Then once we get one and we have that one on the table, all of a sudden a bunch more come. Okay. Offers are super useful, super powerful, and we always want to look at them critically, and we always want to counter and make sure that we're telling our buyers exactly what we want, right? You want to think about what you need to make this experience positive for you. It's not just price, right? Hold on, let's get rid of this. It's not just price. It's not just what day you need to close by. You need to look at all of the stuff holistically together that you are looking to get out of your move. Do you need to move quickly? Do you need more money? Do you need, there's so many things we go over that you need in your particular escrow. So make sure you think about what all is important to you besides just price when you are putting together your list for your realtor. So that way we can get it in your offer. Overall, offers are really easy to review, but that would be a totally different course. So what do you think? Is there anything here that I missed or things that you wish your realtor did? If you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. And I will talk to you guys next time because that's about all there is. Overall, I know the experience is a little bit overwhelming. I know that it seems like a lot. But what you have to understand is that as long as you hire a good realtor to do all of this for you, you don't need to know any of this. You just need to point your guy in the right direction, or gal, and they will take care of all of it, right? So don't feel too overwhelmed. And if you are feeling overwhelmed, all the more reason to contact us early, because the earlier we can get on to working on this process with you, going over what's comfortable and what's uncomfortable, the sooner we can really make sure you're taken care of and make sure that everything goes as smooth as possible. So if you have any questions, put them down below. And in the meantime, talk to you guys next week. Like I said, every Tuesday, 6 o'clock.